Yo, VP here. If you haven't joined the team, what are you doing? Hit that subscribe button, get notified, and join the squad. Hero up. Let's go! Hey, what's up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. So, if you're here for Black Clover Chapter 324, and let me tell you, it did not disappoint. We got Yami and Nacht fighting together. We got Zoro and Nero. And then we also get a little bit of something that I'm thinking is a death flag for Yami. I think Yami might be high-key trying to pass the torch to Nacht, and I'll explain what I mean by that.
Like, share, subscribe. HCB2 World.
Alright, so to start the chapter off, we get a look at Zoro and Nero, and we find out that Zoro's trap was actually to try to absorb Lucifero's power. By absorbing Lucifero's power, he's able to pay it back double. So as he absorbs his power, he stores it in his right fist, and he goes to kind of return the favor, you know. This shows you how overpowered Lucifero is, because when they connect fists, you can kind of see the damage run up you can see the damage run up Zoro's arm, and you're like, oh damn, you know, this dude would have lost his arm if it wasn't for Nero. So now that, you know, they've tried to do what they can, Nero and Zoro realize that they can't beat these dudes, and so they tell Nacht and Yami that they're up. Obviously, you know, everyone loves Yami. You know Yami's powerful, and you never really got to see him fight side by side. This is the first time that anybody in the Black Bulls has kind of get to see not only the captain, but the vice captain team up. You know, this is the leadership of Black Bulls, and so when you get your number one and your number two going, things are going to get real. As they go to fight, it almost seems like to me that Yami is trying to pitch the Black Bulls to Nacht. You know, he's like, hey, these guys are really great, aren't they? But not only does he says that, he even acknowledges that he himself has felt like they've exceeded his expectations, you know. Obviously, Yami is kind of the guy who gets the oddballs together. He's the one who brings in the people that no one else wants. Obviously, he had big plans for these guys, but as time progressed, they proved themselves to be even greater than what he thought they could. I thought it was weird that Yami's trying to like really sell the Black Bulls to Nacht, like, hey, aren't these guys great, and they're this and they're that. It almost kind of seemed to me like he was maybe passing the torch. And the reason I say that is because Yami mentions that he feels like he's surging with energy. In the last chapter, we found out that Yami was really damaged, and it looked like he had some kind of like devil-like power heading toward his heart. Just like anything with manga and anime, you know that if a character gets a major power-up, there's a trade-off. You know, there's not just like, oh, hey, we're gonna make this guy stronger, and that's the end of it. That character has to lose something. In my last video that I did for Black Clover, I said that I thought that Vengeance maybe was gonna die. You know, like Yami's words were a death flag, where he said, hey, after this, let's go grab a drink. I still think Vengeance is gonna die, but now I also feel like Yami's gonna die. I feel like this surge in power is because something happened to his heart. When we saw Vengeance looked like he was damaged beyond all repair. Obviously, Yami gets healed, but you know, when you see that devil power heading toward his heart, it almost looks like Yami's going to be consumed by it. Like, yeah, he's going to get this great power, but it's going to come at the cost of his life. And I almost feel like they're setting up Nacht to kind of replace Yami in terms of being the captain of the Black Bulls. Now, on the other side where you got Vengeance, I kind of felt like they're setting up Vengeance to die, but they're also setting up somebody to take his place as well. And so I think Yami does not make it out of this chapter. Not the chapter, sorry. I think Yami does not make it out of this battle. But, you know, hopefully I'm wrong. Now, they do this thing where they activate Manda Zone, and they kind of create this thing called the Kids Playground. And basically what this does is it takes advantage of both of their powers. As you know, Yami's power is darkness, and you know, his power seems to really be OP in the sense that it is really, really something that can damage devils. And with Nacht, you know, his power is shadow. So they kind of start to feed each other, you know. Through Yami's darkness, Yami is able to create more shadow. And through the shadow, you're able to create more darkness. And then what you get is this infinite loop. So not only are these guys like at the height of their powers right now, but they're at the point where it's like, it's endless. It's an endless waltz. You know, they can keep on using these attacks. Lucifero can't do anything. One thing we know about Lucifero is that up to this point, he just really seemed OP. Like, no matter what they do, they couldn't damage this dude. Didn't matter who was attacking him. Captains couldn't damage him. Asta can barely damage him. Yuno couldn't damage him. So, you know, it was like, damn, we really can't beat this guy. But now that you got this perfect combination of Nacht and Yami, he finally takes damage. And I think for the first time, he's like, oh shit, you know, these guys can actually kill me. I need to really stop messing around. Now, another interesting thing about this is we've got that other little devil. I don't know if they dropped his name. I can't remember his name, but we got the other little devil who's been watching this whole time. you remember there was a chapter where he was kind of talking down to Lucifer. Now, if Lucifer is supposed to be like the devil of all devils, then why is this guy talking down to him? And that leads me to believe that Lucifer is not actually the main big bad devil, you know? Honestly, you got this little devil who seems like he's hella powerful. He's just watching this fight. And it's not like he's watching his boss take on somebody. It almost appears to me as if he's watching one of his underlings fight, you know, like he's watching his strongest fighter in this battle. So I think we're going to get something there where we find out that that's actually the strongest devil, and Lucifero was just kind of maybe like the number 2. The interesting thing about Lucifero taking damage is that you also kind of see him shiver a little bit, you know? So not only does he have the realization that, hey, these guys can actually kill me, but I think he's also kind of scared, and he's like, you know, since these guys can kill me, I'm gonna stop messing around. Not only am I gonna use my full power, but I'm gonna eliminate every human. He's like, yo, I'm gonna kill your entire family. Mom, your dad, sister, brother, wife, kids, the dog, any pets, everybody dying. I'm getting everybody out of here. And so he kind of unleashes his whole power, and you see Yami and Nacht like tense up, like, oh shit, like this is that real, you know, he's really coming after us. And so Yami calls out to not only Asta this time, but he calls out to Yuno as well. He's like, hey, you two, like, we've gone as far as we can. You guys are up. You kind of see that look on their face, you know. Nero locks up their energy so that, you know, they're not going to keep bleeding. They're not going to keep taking damage, you know. She seals all that, and it's time for these guys to show up. And I love that because this is the second time now where Yami has actually called Asta up, and he's like, yo, I need you, let's get it. And so now you got these two guys who are going to be in here. You got Yuno and Asta who are going to be in here, really just joining up with the 2 captains of the Black Bulls to take these guys down and to get Lucifero's ass out of here finally. I enjoyed this chapter. I think things are going to get extremely interesting with Black Clover, and I think Yami's going to die. In the last chapter, I said I thought only Vengeance was going to die because of the fact that they still let Yami continue to fight. But now, kind of looking at some of the context clues, it does appear to me that Yami might be getting out of here. I feel like that they brought Nacht in to kind of be Yami's replacement, you know? For a long time now, it almost seemed like Black Clover was hitting that kind of fairy tale stride. When I say fairy tale stride, what I mean is that Fairy Tail was a great anime, it was a great manga, but one thing that a lot of people complained about is that no one ever really died. And I feel like Black Clover kind of was doing the same thing, you know. Obviously, it looked like at some point we were going to lose Julius. It looked like he died, but then he comes back and you find out that he just kind of lost all his magic. I think this time we actually used Yami. Yami's already handed off his sword to Asta, which is like, you know, passing the memento. He clearly looks like something's going on in terms of him having like this magical power, whether he got power from the devil or whether it's something. It feels like they're kind of gearing him up to have this last final hurrah before they finally close the curtain on Yami and they pass the torch to Nacht. If that happens, it's really, really going to be sad. Obviously, you know, everyone in the Black Bulls loves Yami, and I feel like that's another reason why Yami might be getting out of here, you know. Yami's never been this real emotional dude, but a few chapters back, all the guys in the Black Bulls kind of told Yami, we love you, and then he told them, he didn't really say we love you, he didn't really say I love you too, but he told them the feeling was mutual. So I feel like that might have been him saying his goodbyes, and now I feel like this is him kind of not training his replacement, but just kind of like, hey, giving him an idea of what the Black Bulls are like, what kind of mentality they have, and then I think within the, I'm going to say next 3 chapters, I think within the next 3 chapters, Yami's dying. Remember this day, remember where you heard it, I'm saying it right here, I think Yami's going to die, alright? Other than that, that's going to do it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. If so, go ahead and smash that like button. Leave a comment if you want to talk about this stuff, because I love chopping this kind of stuff up. That's just my thing, alright? As always, I'm your boy, Heroes Come Back to do great, be great. I'll catch you in the next video, alright? Peace!